Hello, and welcome to the Crypto Masters podcast, helping the general public to master an understanding of crypto assets. My name is Brian McCoy.
And my name is Ross Eaton.
And we are the Crypto Masters. All right, Ross, the topic of today's episode is Theta Network. So we'll be diving into the world of decentralized video delivery network. Very interesting stuff.
Ooh, I like it already.
A quick reminder, our goal here at the Crypto Masters is to provide information about crypto assets to help the public decide if it's something they may want to invest in and then do further research on their own. We generally look at projects to determine if they'd be good for a long-term investment.
Right on, Brian. And we provide information about different crypto assets to allow you, the listeners, to make your own financial decisions. This is not financial advice. We are not financial advisors. But as always, we give you the power to do your own research. Yeah.
So we'll get you started here with Theta Network, which is very hot right now.
So hot right now, Brian. So hot right now.
The price of the token has exploded recently, and its focus is on video streaming, esports, music, TV, movies, enterprise conferencing, and more.
You may have heard of it.
Yeah, and it has an existing user base of millions of esports viewers. And Ross, I know you're a big gamer. Are you into esports?
Yes. Well, Brian, I've been known to play some Call of Duty every now and then.
I'm
not good, but I'll play. I'm not, to be honest, I'm not super into esports, but I watch from time to time. I mean, it is exploding. I have some friends that are doing some streams on the side. But yeah, esports are huge. I mean, you've got these events being streamed on or shown on ESPN right now. I mean, it's I don't know if we'd call them athletes, but they're definitely they're on ESPN. But, I mean, they're
good at what they do. I would say
they're experts at what they do. They're masters, one might say.
Ooh.
But these guys are taking home like millions of dollars in winnings for these big tournaments. And they're streaming on YouTube. Twitch is a big one. You've got all sorts of stuff. This stuff is growing, and it's a huge part of entertainment today.
Yep. Hey, Ross, 2020 called, and they said the lockdown's over and you can get a haircut. Boom. Wow. Yeah, love it. Speechless.
I just got some heartburn there. But, Brian, I will say, this guy does not cut his hair during a bull run. It will keep going. This lucky hair is going to grow and grow just like this bull run.
It could be till the end of 2021. It's a possibility.
I thought we were friends, Brian. This is changing.
All right, so let's get back to Theta. It's interesting how Theta accomplishes its decentralized streaming network. So it's in this blockchain network, users are incentivized to share their unused memory and bandwidth to improve the overall network. And it seems like a great idea. It's similar to some of the storage coins like SIA and Storage. Not
the singer, right?
Right, and it's not.
Oh, okay.
Those allow for use of like unused storage space on people's computers. That's for another podcast. We haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
But so Theta Network uses a similar theory to allow the unused memory and bandwidth of people's computers to enhance the streaming ability of the network, which is a great idea. In fact, Theta has received a patent on this aspect of the technology. So, Ross, I'm going to let you explain a little bit how this works. How does a decentralized video network actually work?
No, absolutely. And that's something that's huge today is we've all got a computer, an iPad, just kind of sitting around when we're at work or out shopping around that could be doing something to help out the whole system. So as Brian previously mentioned, this is a decentralized video network, and Theta coins are used to incentivize or encourage individual users to share their storage as caching nodes for the video streams. This improves quality of stream delivery and solves that last mile delivery problem, Brian.
The last mile.
The last mile. Look it up. I'll put a little link in the description, but it's generally like, say your YouTube, you've got the HD video, you've got these virtual reality, these high quality video files stored locally. It's just hard to, deliver it that last mile to the user, to the consumer.
This is like someone out in the boondocks, out in the sticks or something that aren't close to a receiver or a wherever they broadcast it from.
No, exactly. Like these people out in the boondocks. I mean, shoot, my neighborhood just got fiber optic 2 years ago. So those guys way out in the country, they're not going to have access to something high speed. So yeah, it's trying to solve that main bottleneck or that traditional stream delivery pipelines suffer from. But especially, like I said, that high resolution video, virtual reality files.
The VR stuff, yeah, but that takes a lot of bandwidth. Right?
Exactly, yeah. And second, with that sufficient amount of nodes, if we get enough nodes going on, the majority of users will pull streams from these peering caching nodes, and this just significantly reduces the content delivery network bandwidth costs, which is a major concern with video streaming sites. And shoot, I know we share this frustration even with Facebook. I feel like I get on for a live stream or a video, and it's just,
buffering.
Buffering, or the video's there, but it says this is a 4K video, but it's all grainy, and it's like, oh, that doesn't look like 4K. Huh. But it's that last mile, Brian. I just can't make it.
The last mile, all right.
So I don't know what my count is. I'll say third, the Theta Network greatly improves the streaming market efficiency by streaming that video process. For example, advertisers can target the end users at a lower cost and reward the influencers. Theta blockchain can also utilize some basic novel concepts, such as having a reward that is non-constant, but and it depends on the reputation of that caching node that mined that block. So, for example, if you're mining or producing high quality video for a long period of time, you get rewarded more. So it kind of incentivizes you as a node to stay in and be contributing in a malicious way, we'd say.
Interesting.
And these Theta Edge nodes, they're really just computers that rely on streams over the network and earn Theta Fuel or T Fuel. Kind of sounds like a rapper, but it's not. Hashtag T Fuel, which we discuss in a couple minutes.
Yeah, we'll talk about the T Fuel, and then the Theta tokens coming up. But that's interesting. So, Ross, using the network, it seems to me that the end users are getting the stream data, like what they actually get, is going to come from a combination of the site's platform and then the local peers that are using the Theta network, and like we said, allowing their, excess capacity on their computers to be used to enhance the system. So it's kind of a combination, which is kind of interesting. It doesn't actually replace the site's platform. Let's just say YouTube, for example, will still be, broadcasting from its platform, but then it'll be supplemented with these peers, these nodes, which saves actually money, I think, for YouTube. Yeah, and so and then the YouTube equivalents or wannabes. It saves them money, and then it gives the end user actually a better product. So it's kind of a win-win. It's very interesting.
Absolutely.
So one thing, Ross, let me interject here.
No, I'm not going. No, go ahead.
So currently, it uses some validator nodes. We've talked about proof of stake and other coins and tokens that we've discussed. And so in this case with Theta, currently, like as of the date we're broadcasting, there are 14 validator nodes. And there's a maximum of 30 validator nodes. So, and we've talked about this before, that allows for fast transactions, right?
Yeah.
But not very decentralized. The validator nodes propose the new blocks in the chain, and then Theta has some guardian nodes as kind of a check on that to prevent malicious behavior. But, they still have I would say a very limited number of validator nodes. Just by way of comparison, it's probably not apples to apples, but Cardano's proof of stake network, and I think they have like 750,000 validators. You compare that to 14 validators. It's
I'm just going to say this, Brian. I'm not great at math, but that's a much larger number than 14 to 30.
Right. And we'll maybe touch on that later, but that's something to think about. Let's talk a little bit about the history of Theta Network. It had an ICO back in January of 2018, and its mainnet launched in May of 2020. So the founders, we always like to talk about the team behind the project. The founders were Mitch Liu and Ji Long, who had also founded Sliver TV. Sliver TV is now a D app on the Theta Network. It's actually called Theta TV now, but they still kind of use the Sliver TV thing on there. And we both went and checked it out. It's very interesting. They have different things you can look on there. They have a NASA program, which is just things from NASA, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm a NASA nerd right here.
So that's good. Also, in addition to the sort of the founders who are credentialed in this particular area, the project has some big time advisors, including Justin Kan, who is a co-founder of Twitch, and Steve Chen, co-founder of YouTube.
I've heard of those.
Yeah, so some big names as advisors. And so when you look at the team behind the project, it's certainly a strength for the Theta Network. I mean, they also have Samsung and Sony, I believe, have invested in it, and Google is involved in some capacity. There's also some venture capital firms. So the team behind it is a strength.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid team, and you want to put that on your website, and it is on there.
It is on the website. That's right.
But yeah, let's go into a little more of the blockchain behind the Theta Network. But of course, it's got its own blockchain, and we've heard this time and time again, Brian. But it's proof of stake to secure this network, and if you're going to be that's just the leading the leading way blockchain wise to be fast and efficient. So you see so many people go into that, and it's actually based on the Tendermint code, which is pretty interesting. We discussed that a little bit on the Cosmos podcast, just one back. So check that one out. But users are required to stake Theta and are rewarded or punished if they engage in that malicious activity, of course. So if you stake your coins, you act bad, they take it away. Yep. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, similar. Cosmos did the same thing. Yeah,
absolutely. So, and you're going to see proof of stake more and more probably as we go along and review more coins. The newer coins, that is. But let's look at the Theta Network's coins or tokens. They've got two. One's called Theta. This is the governance token, and it's used for staking. The network also uses something called proof of engagement, where users can earn tokens as rewards from advertisers in exchange for their attention to a video stream and by providing bandwidth, as we discussed before. So this in proof of engagement is also used to reward content creators. So, pretty straightforward. More engagement, more popularity your content gets, you get rewarded for that. It's got some major similarities to basic attention token.
BAT. Yes.
You might have heard of it from our other podcast, I know you did.
Check out our podcast on BAT. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's what I thought of as well.
Big fan of BAT. But yeah, the maximum supply, just some little tokenomics for you here. Mm-hmm. But the maximum supply of the Theta coin is 1 billion. And there is 1 billion in circulation right now. And there's no deflation, no dilution. And then there's a second native token called Theta Fuel, T-Fuel, not the rapper, but the token.
Keep going to that well.
This is sort of the gas of the network. I don't mean the smelly gas. I mean the fuel. I mean the fuel, Brian. And it's used to pay content providers and other users of the network.
All right. So, and also, just to point out, Theta has announced a Theta 3.0 where they're going to change the tokenomics. But they've also announced that it's going to be delayed until at least June of 2021. So we won't get into that now.
That's common in software. I'm in software, everything gets delayed.
Yeah.
So no biggie there.
So where can you buy Theta coin? Well, if you're or T fuel.
T-Fuel.
If you're not a U.S. citizen, it's easy. Binance, right? OKEX, KuCoin, all these that we talk about a lot that we can't get on, unless you want to do the workaround.
Yeah, just a little VPN action there.
Yeah. But for U.S. citizens, to be honest, the options are really limited. It looks to me like it's on crypto.com, which I'm not on, but I think U.S. citizens can get on. So maybe you could get it through that, but really not that easy for U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, and it goes without saying, Theta is not without its competitors. LivePeer is a competitor that recently picked up a huge boost when Grayscale added a little LivePeer Trust.
Yep.
Maybe that's wrong word to use there, little. But there are differences, but LivePeer was just added a lot of liquidity, so it will provide some competition. But competition's good, Brian. So that's not really a concern. I know a lot of people get concerned with competitors, but I always use the New York pizza analogy. If you go to just a mediocre New York pizza place, it's going to be awesome. Whereas if you go to a mediocre pizza place, maybe in Columbia, South Carolina, it's not going to be so awesome. So competition is good.
All right. We haven't done LivePeer yet, so I really haven't researched that thoroughly, but maybe we'll do that someday.
Yeah, comment below if you want us to check it out.
So, Ross, it's worth noting that Theta is not trying to replace YouTube or Twitch or these other, big tech sites that are centralized and currently exist. In fact, I think it wants them as users, sort of as customers of the network.
Oh, for sure.
And so Theta is telling these large centralized entities like YouTube that it can make it cheaper and provide better streaming to the end user. So again, it's trying to get them as customers. It's something to think about if you're sort of one of the many people who are kind of wanting a decentralized alternative to the large centralized services such as YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, which many have accused of censorship, to further their own beliefs and politics. So keep that in mind. I think we've covered the aspects of Theta.
We've touched them all, Brian.
Network. It's time for final thoughts. And I kind of think it's your turn this week to go first.
Yes, I think it is, Brian.
Take it.
And I'm very excited about this project. I just believe that if you're going to have something that's going to be a streaming service, decentralized is just the way to go. I'm going to say decentralized might be in italics for this situation because you only got 14 nodes, max of 30, so take that with a grain of salt. But I think it's a great application of blockchain technology and decentralized tech in italics, and it's very easy for people to understand and get behind. It's just a decentralized network of nodes that push out these high quality content, and I do believe something of this effect is going to be the way of the future. The way of the future, if you've seen Aviator. Sorry, I had to throw it in there. But
was that an echo?
I think so.
Okay.
But some issues with Theta faces is, and this is just with streaming services, live broadcasting, that content creators right now can really post whatever they want. I think there needs to be, they're going to solve it. They're going to figure that out. And, there are stuff you can take it down after it's posted if it's something malicious or X-rated. I don't know. But I got to be honest, I'm not too interested into the T-Fuel token. Just because I think when something like that is used to reward miners, it could be dumped and fluctuate a lot. But I am interested in the Theta token itself. I'm skeptical just because of the decentralized network, but I'll give this a C. I'll give this a C or B.
Are you buying?
I think I am, Brian.
You're going to buy? What you're going to buy?
Theta. I'll buy, not T-Fuel, but I think the tech is going to win out. I'm worried about the nature of the network that is.
All right.
What do you got, Brian?
Are we ready for my final thoughts?
Yes.
I believe that this project will probably succeed. I mean, I think it's a good idea with a good team. So in that sense, I think it will succeed. But there's caveats to that. One is there's been, as we know, a massive run up on the Theta token.
Yeah, crazy run up.
Whether or not there's more room to run, I don't know. I probably wouldn't be buying it for that fact alone, but there's other factors that I'll talk about in a minute. And then the T-Fuel token, it hasn't had as much of a run up, but to me it's sort of unclear which of the two of these is the one to invest in. There's, we've seen other projects like this that have the one token that sort of does all of the things that they've now split this into two tokens. So I don't really know how that's going to work. Which one to invest in, if any. I'm going to say neither, but we'll talk about why. So I'm not sure which of the Theta or T-Fuel to invest in, but I won't be investing in either. And here's why.
Oh, okay.
This is a centralized.
Get out of here.
Yeah, this is a centralized project. 14 validator nodes equals centralized. Even up to 30 equals centralized. When you and I discussed EOS, one of the things we panned it on is it's just not centralized. It's the trade-off. I get that. It's a trade-off, but it's a big trade-off to me, in my opinion, to get the faster speeds. They trade off decentralization, and they just don't have it. 14, that's not decentralized. Okay, and then also. They're teaming up with Google, YouTube, and others. I mean, Google owns YouTube. And they're not attempting to replace them. They want them to be competitors. So Theta is not a solution to the censorship problem that some people see with big tech companies like YouTube, like Twitter, like Facebook. In other words, there's a very small group of people, let's say, you hear it all the time on YouTube that people are getting their videos or their channels pulled, and they don't know why. It's some kind of censorship.
Oh, for sure.
And
Twitch too, yeah.
Yeah, and back in the election here in the U.S., the Twitter decided to pull all tweets relating to Hunter Biden. Which turned out to be factually accurate, and Twitter apologized, but there was censorship. And so, I want a solution to this. I would love, and we talked about at the time, I would love a decentralized version of these big tech things. I don't want a small group of people in Silicon Valley deciding what I can or cannot see. Like they're smarter or they're better. We don't need that. Yeah. We need something decentralized where people can choose to watch it, to believe it, or not watch it, or not believe it. So I think this space has potential, but I'm going to look for an alternative that's truly decentralized, and it's not something that's going to facilitate the ability to censor. And I don't know if that exists. We'll cover some more and maybe see if that exists. I don't know yet. But I will tell you this, that if there is the ability to censor, it will be used. Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
That much is certain. So, again, and I don't want to be a zealot. We're investors, and our show really is to help people get an idea of what they may or may not want to invest in. So, as an investment, maybe financially this would pay off. Maybe not. I'm not. Yeah. I'm not really sure about that, but I think it'll probably succeed. And as far as being used a lot and improve streaming, but just not something for me to invest in.
Okay, very interesting, Brian. And so I'm gonna put you in the hot seat here, Brian, with the question. So I do believe something decentralized is better as far as a tech standpoint of getting that higher quality content out there. But I'm just worried about if you have to partner with some content creator like a big YouTube or Hulu or something like this to be able to push that content out there. It's you've raised good points. Like, how do you remain decentralized and create that censorship-free atmosphere? But I don't know. What
my answer to that is you got to compete with these guys and not work with them. And again, I'm not casting any stones. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I understand from a business standpoint why you would want to partner with Google. You know,
100%.
Right.
Yeah,
It's a 500-pound gorilla. So, but and that's cool. Go ahead and do it. But that's not what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I want the competitor. I want the one that says
we're coming after you.
We're not censoring. So if you wanna watch censored stuff, go there. Go to YouTube. If you want to see uncensored stuff, come to us. And I don't know what that is yet, but it's something different than this.
Yeah. Okay. Well, very good thoughts,
All
Brian.
right, man. Well, we kind of ripped into it this week, but it's fun.
Yeah. I think, and again, my side is that I love the tech, but I think I'm not fully siding with Brian, but I'm slightly there with, like, you know, I want to see that fully decentralized, fully censorship-free network of content.
But we're on the same page on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, hey, that's been another podcast of the Crypto Masters. Check us out next time. Let us know comments. Let us know what you think about this.
Absolutely. And if you see by this lovely banner below, follow us on social media, check out our website, and stay tuned.
All right. Thanks, everybody.